Welcome to week 1 of me learning animation. Except it's more like a month, but I intended it for it to be a week, and I've been told that the intention is all that matters. Before this, all I have done regarding animation is a benchmark test of a simple character walking. And then I thought a lot and decided on a 2-day practice schedule. One day would be various classic animation assignments, and the second day would be animating actions. I would get either one pose or maybe two and just make them move. But due to me being the dumbest person alive, I have a little bit of, just a tiniest bit of trouble starting new things. So I didn't manage to get started with the first day of my practice schedule. And I wasted so much time just ignoring the fact that I wanted to start this. After all that, I decided that I would just do the second day. I got one of the poses that I use for the rotation exercise. And luckily, I had an idea for what this pose could move into. I just made it stand back. I didn't think of any principles, or I was just drawing what I thought it would be. And I don't know if there's much to say about the motion. I had some trouble with moving the leg in perspective as a clash. I think I didn't manage to keep the form consistent in size. The head was really, so I added a plus, which helped. But I don't think I did a good job at the face because the face shape overall stays the same even though it's moving in perspective. I only moved the plus shape, and I really hate the wrinkles around the arm. The anatomy is kind of wonky because I didn't want to draw the actual muscular body that is on the reference because I thought it would be too much, too hard. But I also didn't have a mannequin designed. I just did whatever I thought to do at the moment. The second day of my week is 10 days later. Someone on the Discord server posted something and I felt ashamed, so I got to practicing too. But I didn't know what to do. So I just made a ball bounce. I tried to squash and stretch, but this ball looks very funny. Like, none of the physics makes sense. I had a lot of trouble with figuring out how to practice animation because, for example, when you want to practice drawing, it was pretty clear to me that I would need to practice perspective. But I didn't know what the equivalent of that was for animation. And I think after this week of mine, I think the idea is to just animate and try to make that realistic. You might figure out methods to make that animation more realistic and that can be repeatable. But in the end, most of it is just animating. It's like, yeah, there's 3-point perspective and the boxes and all that stuff. But even after learning that, you still will need to draw a bunch to get that working. So for animation, I think the equivalent is just physics and realistic movement. And you just need to do it a bunch until you get good at it. One more thing to learn might be to just examine the actions in real life, and I think that is included in the animating stuff and trying to make that realistic. But this ball looks very fucking stupid, so I'm moving on. The third day is 5 days later. I tried another ball animation, and this one looks like a live being. As I wrote in my note, it looks like it has consciousness, but it is better than my first attempt. I don't think it is the fact that I didn't draw the balls. I think it is more that I didn't add, like, on my first attempt, the ball bounces one time and then bounces a little bit less a second time and then stops. This one just loops, so I think that might be a reason why this looked better too. The fourth day of my week, it was on the 1st of September, and it is another pose animation. This one I don't know why I did this, but the figure is very muscular and realistic, which I think was a stupid decision. Now, I don't remember the order that I did this, But as you can see, I have a little stick man in the corner. It should be at the start, because I was testing out the motion before I drew the figure. I tried to make this like someone is dancing and then they stop dancing and they greet the viewers. But I don't think the momentum is visible. Like it just looks weird. Maybe if I made the figure just zip to the top, and that would make it more visible. But now this just looks funny and stupid. Also, I didn't manage to rotate the leg in place. This practice is getting carried by the muscular body that I drew, because animation-wise, this is pretty stupid. And I said I would add a proper note to this. I did not add a proper note, so I don't remember anything. 2 days later, I forgot which day of the week we were, but 2 days later, I tried to figure out a mannequin that I would use for these. And also, there's this weekly challenge someone on Discord wanted to start, and I wanted to join it. But I'm too, the prompt was to animate a pumpkin bouncing, and I thought about it, and I just could not imagine a pumpkin bouncing. So I made it break. At the start, it looks like it is starting to break, but then it starts shifting forms, and I redrew a bunch to get it to keep form, but it just did not work. I'm kind of happy about the particles flying, but I really don't like the form change. 4 days later than that, I got another pose, and I really did not have any cool ideas, so I just got this sitting pose, squatting pose, and I made it stand up. Now, I used the stick man again, but I think I was a bit more ordered with this practice than the first time I used the stick man. But honestly, I was really happy about this one. I think it looked nice. What I want to applaud myself a lot for is when the character is getting up, the head goes a little bit down, because I thought when you're getting up, you will look down first. So I made it lower, and I'm really happy about that. It has only 4 frames, but I think I did a good job. And this is also my first time using the mannequin. I didn't keep it consistent that well, but I started to see how it could be beneficial in the long term, because this was much more easier and also retain more information than drawing a muscular body or whatever it is I was doing before. And then the next day, I'm getting more disciplined with this animation practices. But I didn't add the... Okay, this time around, I tried a bouncing ball, but instead of a squishy ball, I made it a tennis ball. And I don't think it looked good. I just can't make these realistic. I'm looking at my nose, and I didn't import the file, so I don't know what I did here. And I remember, even though it didn't look squishy because I didn't make it squash and stretch, it still did not look realistic at all. And then after this, I missed a day, but I didn't slack off too much. It was only 2 days later where I tried different spacing, but I didn't learn about spacing yet. I was just making stuff up. And I don't remember anything particularly important about these. I just made them. After this, I decided that maybe I should learn about what it is that I'm practicing. So I decided to watch a timing chart video. And I watched it, and I thought to myself, this seems very useful, but I don't think I have the brain to use that. So what I decided to do was, I would do it the way I was doing this whole time. But after I was done, I would go back and examine the animation and try to make a timing chart from the finished practice. That was my decision. And then I needed to watch a video about breakdowns because that was mentioned in the first video. And my uneducated opinion about breakdowns is that I would call them key poses too. So I decided to not think too much about these because I think they're more related to just communication in studios. I'm sure they would help when you're animating solo too, but When I was watching these, I also started thinking about the just animating stuff and trying to make them realistic point that I made before. And I also started thinking that maybe it is better to practice by projects, so with characters and stuff. But I don't have a character, so I can't do that yet. And I think if I start anything big, I will probably quit it, so I didn't attempt any of that yet. But I think that might really be the better way, because you really need to just animate, and with each practice, with each animation, just try to make it more realistic. And also examine reality. I don't really know if this was the same day. I think it was, but then I tried testing out the examples that the first video gave, and I suck at counting too. I learned. Well, I don't know if this counts in my week, but after this, it was time for the second weekly challenge, which was a cat playing or a cat jumping. I don't really remember. I just sketched it out and I realized that I would not be able to draw it because I don't know how to draw cats. I didn't want to spend too much time on it because I didn't have an idea for it. If I had an idea, I would, I don't know how to draw the subject and I don't have an idea, so I have nothing to work with. So I just gave up on it after a sketch. But I think if I just was more ambitious, I think this could work. Honestly, I don't really know if this should be my second week or not. This is all I did in the first week of me practicing animation. And I think it is 9 days in like a month because I'm stupid. Hopefully I am more disciplined.